Have you ever had a goal that you worked so hard for and felt nothing? Have you ever thought, if I can just make more money, build a business, buy the house, then I'll finally feel fulfilled, I'll feel happy, only to find yourself right back in the chase? Why is it that no matter how much we achieve, it still feels like it's not enough? In this episode, you'll discover why this happens and the shift that allows you to keep growing, keep achieving, but finally feel fulfilled and present while doing it. Hey everyone, welcome to Real Influence. My name is Vaillancourt. I'm your fellow traveler companion in the great life experiment. Here we explore how to break free from autopilot, live with clarity and courage, and align your life with what matters most, the living in the now, not for someday. So a quick backstory before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. I like to add a little bit of color to show you that I'm not just talking this stuff. I am the guide, not the guru, but I do like to lead by example. So for me, I had a lot of success without fulfillment. I got the woman of my dreams. I got the corporate job. I quit to start my own business, but then I got divorced because I also didn't like the farm. I didn't like the business I built. I didn't like the lifestyle that I was building. And then I made more money than ever before with the new business ventures that I built, but things just still weren't adding up. I was continuously chasing. I was continuously being more successful, but I wasn't really loving my life. And I'm like, how come every time I get the things I want, I'm still not feeling like I'm doing enough? I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I don't have enough. There's always that case with everybody. Everyone's got this limiting belief that there's not enough time, there's not enough money, and there's not enough success that can be distributed or that you're not getting for yourself. So I want to set the stage. Outward success didn't equal inner peace. And then throughout these steps, I'm going to talk to you about how doing the exact opposite of everything I did actually started to translate to more success and also more fulfillment, but actually living my life. So we're gonna get into that by the end of the episode. And if you're hearing this for the first time and you're nodding along thinking, that's me, I've achieved so much, but I still feel empty, I wanna invite you to something I created out of my own journey, and it's called the Great Life Experiment 30-Day Challenge. So for 30 days, you're gonna get one short, powerful daily shift delivered right to your inbox. These are the exact tools, reflections, and questions that help me stop chasing and actually start living my life. It's completely free and it's designed to help you experience what life can feel like when you step off autopilot and finally enjoy the success you've already built. You can join at thegreatlifeexperiment.ca. All right, so the first insight is we're focused too much on outcomes. So we focus on things like money, things like a house, things like a bigger business. It's a treadmill that never stops. Okay, and everyone has this idea that like, no, I'm different. Once I actually hit this amount of money, once I do this next thing, then I'm gonna start to live my life. Like, Joey, I'm different. Okay, but I'm here to tell you, you're probably not much different than me. And if you are, kudos. If you're at that point and you've actually been able to relax and step off the treadmill, then good for you. Most of the people I know aren't able to step off the treadmill. I know people in their 60s, their 70s, and sometimes in their 80s who are like billionaires, but they're still miserable. They're still chasing. They're still living that same lifestyle they've built over the past 60 years of building a business. So why are they not happy? Why are we not happy? Why is it never enough? Because we're focused on outcomes. If we're focused on outcomes, we're chasing the next thing. It doesn't matter. No matter what milestone you think is going to make you happy, because you've trained yourself to actually chase these things, you just like to chase. You're built for the chase now. So no matter what you're doing, you're never going to be able to step off the treadmill. You're never going to stop working. You're never going to be more happy because the only thing that makes you happy is chasing and achieving and moving on really quick, okay? So what's the shift we can make? So if I'm thinking, I want to spend more time with my kids, but I have to make a bit more money, I have to build a bigger business, and then one day I'll be able to actually spend a lot of time with them. You're conditioning them for the better part of maybe 5, 10, 15 years, and then all of a sudden they're an adult, and then they're like, see ya, Dad, like, we're gone. And if you haven't actually built a relationship, if you haven't built the conditioning that like we spend family time together, at 4 o'clock, Dad shuts down, or even earlier, whatever the case is, if you're not being intentional and being present with your family, then that's the Groundhog Day you're gonna keep reliving. No matter what milestone you think is gonna change that, it's not gonna change it. It doesn't change. So my question is, how do you wanna spend your days? And then we wanna start to do that now, okay? And again, for me, I wanna spend more time with my kids. So even though in the past I used to be aspirational and I used to like work in the evenings, I work like an extra 5 hours after a full day already, sometimes 18-hour days. And that's the majority of gurus out there say that you have to work hard, hustle, grind, sacrifice to then build a lifestyle that then you can start to enjoy your life. I was bought up in that. I was caught up in that notion and that philosophy for so many years, but realizing it was just detrimental. It was destructive to the life I actually wanted to be living today. And the desire, the eagerness that I felt, the fact that I wasn't living that way was tearing me apart inside. So that's what I want you to continue to ask yourself, is what life am I living right now? And what life would I want to be living someday? And start to practice actually living that life today, not someday. Insight number 2 is you're not addressing your beliefs. And when I say you, I mean myself included. For a long time, I had all these beliefs about money, success, business, happiness, right? So some examples is I want more money, but I believe it's hard to make. I want more love, but I believe no good partners exist. I want rest, but believe hustle is the only way. I want to go on that trip, but I shouldn't take time off. I want to pursue my passion, but there's not enough time. So if we continue to believe this is what's going to attract to us, and this is a lot of like woo-woo stuff when you think about like things like books, I would say like the book, The Secret, How to Think and Grow Rich, like you get what you focus on. It's cliche to the point that it's like no one even hears it anymore, but it's the reality. You do get what you focus on. But what I would say we don't address enough in personal development 1.0, that now we're starting to move in as we phase that out and we start to realize that no, embodiment is the key thing. Beliefs are the key thing. If you want to make more money and you focus on, I want to make more money, I want to make more money, but you continuously believe that money's hard to make, you're driving with the brakes on. It's going to happen. It's going to happen slower with a lot more friction. So we need to start to address those beliefs and start to reshape those beliefs in ways that are actually in favor of the lifestyle that we want to be building and living. So the inner belief system drives how you feel about every single achievement. So if you identified any of the examples that I gave you today, it's a really simple exercise that David Bayer introduced me to called the decision matrix. You take the core belief that comes up a lot in your life. Just think about it. Like if you think about money, business, success, happiness, what do you think about those 4 things? And then if it doesn't make you feel good, if hustle and grind doesn't make you like feel empowered or powerful or happy, then it's probably not a true belief. And we can start to shift these beliefs. Just these micro millimeter distinctions start to move us in the right direction. So instead of saying things like money's hard to make, we could say actually money is more abundant than ever before. Like 100 years ago, people were in poverty and poverty still exists today, but I guarantee there's much more opportunity than it was 100 years ago. And we have evidence for that. We see people opening businesses all the time. We see people having $100 million exits. We see people getting 10 jobs instead of staying in the same job all the time. So money, jobs, opportunity, they're everywhere. But if you're focused on there's not enough opportunity, there's not enough time, there's not enough cash in the bank, then that's what you're going to continue to focus on. And even when you have cash in the bank, you're still going to feel like shit because you think that there's no cash because you're believing that there's not enough. So we want to start to shift these beliefs, find evidence for it, and make that our new focus. Insight number 3 is you're just not living your life. You're postponing things, myself included. Again, I'm in this with you and I still experience this sometimes, but now I'm aware of when it's happening. And when I'm aware that I'm feeling a little bit, I like to call crispy. When someone's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm feeling a little crispy, a little burnt out at the edges. I realize that's my signal. That's my signal that I need to slow down and try not to go back in the pattern of trying to do more because it's never enough and I never feel like it's enough. So one thing I did in my experience when I coached with David Bayer was I actually started to take more trips. I started to let my teams do more. I started to stop working at 4 o'clock and not going back online every single night. Sometimes I still do because I choose to do it now. That's the difference. Somebody asked me like, you work for yourself or you're like an independent contractor, so you work for somebody, but ultimately like you have the freedom to work from wherever in the world, from whatever time. Why are you working at night? And I'm like, it's a good question. And then somebody said it's because you choose to. And I'm like, oh, that's it. I don't have to, but I like it. I enjoy what I do because I've crafted my life that way and I get to choose if I want to work now and I get to choose if I want to scale it back a bit. But what we don't do enough, even if we're in control and we have ultimate freedom, think of it. If you're working from home, if you're getting to like better advancements in your career, you probably have more empowerment, but you're conditioned to continue doing the exact same thing that's produced the result up until this time in your life. We never take the moment to actually just go enjoy life. But by going and enjoying the things that you desire that you now have, that creates the opportunity for you to actually go live the life that you wanted to live all this time. And by doing that, spending less time on the problem actually produces more solutions, which is completely counterintuitive. If you think about a really hard problem you're trying to solve, sometimes less is more. Oftentimes, almost every single time, less is more. Sometimes you can't think clearly anymore. So why do you think that if you work 80 hours versus 40 hours, you're always going to make more money? Now, you might make more money. You might be more successful temporarily, but are you enjoying your life? Probably not. Is it worth a trade-off? Not if the ultimate vision is for you to actually live your life. So this is the reframe we need to start to get into, that it's okay to live your life. And if anything, living your life, spending more time with your kids, spending more time traveling, spending more time with your wife, not getting bought up in the hustle and grind mentality is the thing that's going to start to allow you to live the life and start to craft the future life that you want to build. So yes, you can still desire more money. Yes, you can still desire ascending the corporate ladder, or whatever the desires you have in your life, they're still on their way. But now that we've shifted our beliefs in terms of like money is actually easy to make, there's always enough time, there's always enough opportunity, there'll always be the next thing, even if this thing didn't work out, because everything's building upon itself, we're focused on that. So you can relax through it, knowing that what got you here might have got you here, but it might have been through a lot of friction. You don't have to go to the next level in your life by experiencing the same amount of friction and doing it the same way. And if anything, by doing it this way, you're gonna start to love what you do even more. So just to recap all of this, achievements won't fulfill you if you're chasing outcomes, ignoring beliefs, and not living your life. The real shift is gratitude for now, the things that you once desired that you have, your new belief system, and actually living your life. Okay, the life you're living is a life that you're building, or the life you're building is the life that you're living. Whatever you think you're doing now for a temporary sacrifice, it's not a temporary sacrifice. It's not a temporary timeline. This is what you're conditioning yourself to believe. If you want to go to the gym, you don't just eat Cheetos every single day and watch Netflix and say that one day I'm going to get in shape. That one day might not ever come, and by the time it comes, you're going to be to the point that like you're going to have to work so much harder. So why not start to back off some of those beliefs or those Cheetos now and start to introduce the lifestyle you actually want to be living with balance? So if this episode hit home for you, if you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, leave a rating, share it with someone else who needs to hear this message. This is the way we get the word out to other people. This is the way we make the shift. The more people make this the norm, the more that everyone starts to adopt it, and we all start living a much happier, abundant, fulfilled life. So as always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.